What's going on, guys? My name's Austin, and today I spent $200 on bolts. I'm gonna tell you why. So I picked up this 2005 f350 axle, 373 gears, lockers all work on this thing. Pretty much all the steering stuff is all brand new on this thing. Looks like the guy had it replaced and then pulled it off the truck, except for this bar. This bar looks worn out, but we'll work with it for right now. Then we got a track bar on it too. Got it all for 800 bucks, which is a smoking deal, to be honest, because it came with a steering and track bar. It keeps my budget build of my f150 with the Cummins in it. We will be doing a 4-link swap on this, so that's why this axle came into play. It matches the other gears to the other axle, so it's great. And then I'll put the 4-link on it and stuff, and then bolt it up on the frame, and then we're ready to rock. It's pretty much bolt up set up pretty much. The coils from the f150 still fit on here on both sides. The shocks bolt up the same way almost. I may need to get longer shocks to fit for the f150. And that's pretty much it. And then there's a bracket kit that goes for the track bar here. This, I'll just drill the pitman arm. I have a special drill bit for that. I need to look for it. So this is my special drill bit that I'll be using. It's already taped off for the stopping point right here. When I drill it up, it's a tapered style. So this is what we'll be doing. So for today's first episode, I don't know how far I'll be getting with this and then getting the f150 in here and stuff. We'll be taking a wire wheel, cleaning it as much as possible in some areas and whatnot, especially with the bars and whatnot. So it looks like it's got a bunch of oil buildup, and then I'll just be spraying it. Nothing crazy. I'm probably gonna spray everything on it. It's a lowered truck, so no one's really gonna see any of this stuff. It's not really that detailed compared to this axle that I got. This is for my big dually. This one will be wire wheeled, sandblasted, and stuff like that, just to be able to be looking real nice, because that truck is super tall. So you know, I don't need this looking all like crap. This one, it's tucked under there. I mean, it's a budget truck that I built with the Cummins motor, now 4-link swapping, so it's really not that big of a deal with this one. But anyways, I'm gonna start diving into it. I'm gonna start wire wheeling it, getting the paint warmed up outside, and then we'll be spray painting it here in a couple minutes. Yeah. Alright, so I got it all wire wheeled down as best as possible. You can clearly see there compared to over here. I think the sun's kind of giving it kind of a bad angle, but you can see how brown this one is versus that one. Big difference. So I wire wheeled as much as I could in all the tight areas as best as possible over here, over there. Just using air hose, pull all the dirt off of it as best as possible, and take a rag and make sure there's no loose dirt on it, and then we'll go ahead and start spraying it. Should come out pretty nice. Got the can sitting outside in the heat, getting pretty warm, so you want the stuff to spray down warm versus being cold. But yeah, let's get after it again for the second time. Alright, cleaned it all up a little bit more with the rag. This is what we're going to be using. Some Rough Tough, high protection, high gloss. Stuff's pretty good to be using on bare metal, but this is not 100% bare metal. It was good enough. It's enough to put down some real nice protection with it and stuff. It should be good to go. Alrighty guys, after 2 coats on this, it actually sticks on there pretty thick, to be honest. Came out super nice. Look at all the dirt that I got from all the buildup, just like this axle over here. This has been cleaned once already, so this is another go around. So like I said, I just sprayed everywhere. I didn't care. It doesn't matter. Got it on the rotor, don't care. Got a little bit on the brake lines, that's fine. I'm gonna end up changing them later, so just sprayed everything. Sprayed the dust shields on the back, sprayed inside the U-joints, the yoke in there and stuff. Sprayed this here. Everything turned out pretty nice, to be honest. Sprayed all 3 bars. Everything's ready to go. I'll let it dry up before I touch it and move it. I'm gonna move it up front. Bring Shorty in. I'm gonna move that axle out of the way. I'm gonna take the shocks off and throw those away, so I have a little more room. Probably gonna move the motors out of the garage, put the axle there so it's really out of the way, and then bring that truck in here. What's going on, guys? It's day 2 of messing with Shorty, the single cab short bed 5.9 Cummins, and we're working on an axle swap here from a newer truck, 4-link. So we got it all up here with some frame jacks there, jacks on the axles underneath, about as level as I can get it. Springs are going to stay in place, shocks I'll pull them out, unbolt these from back here, swing arms, undo the pitman arm, tie rod, steering stabilizer on that side. The rest of this stuff I will unbolt from the swing arms, the 2 swing arms there, let everything just fall out from underneath the truck, I guess. I'll use the jack to somewhat hold it. I'll take the calipers off just so the brake lines are not being all stretched out of the way. And then these brackets up here, I'll unbolt them, but they're also welded. So that one's welded, that side's welded. This is bolted up but welded on the bottom. Welded on the bottom on the other side too. So this is going to be fun. I'm not going to really videotape it all. It's pretty straightforward. It's just unbolting the stuff and just starting to cut everything out. So I'll do a quick time lapse. Hopefully it's not too long of a time lapse with everything going on and it's not boring, but we'll see what happens. Alright, I dragged the twin I-beam setup out of the truck. Man, look at how big and clumsy this thing is. This thing is so funky monkey. Trying to get it out. I'm huffing and puffing on trying to pull this thing out. This side was actually hit from maybe another truck or something, but this one's bowed along with, looks like this arm just a little bit. Frame has a little bit of a bend, but it's not going to bother any of the four link setup because it sits farther back. Turn on the brush light. So we're all empty under here. Just left the shock. Gotta get those out. Like I said, they're welded both sides. I'm just gonna go crazy on this thing and just start cutting everything. Same thing with that one over there. And then air hammer, trying to chisel it off and grind it off as much as possible. These ones, like I said, they're bolted. There, and there. And then 2 bolts underneath. Bust them out. I'll just hit it with a hammer. Hopefully it breaks the weld. It should. But this is where the frame is bent just a little bit. I'm not going to be able to show you guys. But our bracket should be mounting up way back here before it goes to the automatic trans cross member bolted there. We should be good to go. Hopefully, if everything works out. Nice. Nice. Alright, we got the brackets off. That was pretty easy. Just bolts, hammer it off. They fell off. Now these ones are going to be a little bit more difficult because I do have to take this bracket off. So I'm going to air hammer them, these rivets out. And then I'll cut this massive booger weld on this side. And then there's another on that side. So I'll cut that one out. I'll just strictly just cut this one off. Leave that whole bracket there. I don't really need it too much, but if anybody has an air hammer, this thing is like a complete knife edge to get right underneath all those rivets and just blow them right off. So I'm gonna do that real quick, blow those off, and then I'll probably use my other chisel. We'll see maybe if we can break the welds with just that, and then we'll go from there. Alright, since I got all that brackets off over there, cut these brackets on this side as best as possible. I didn't really mess around with this one too much. I just cut it off, grinded it, painted it. Other side, fully cut it off, grinded it, painted it, whatever welds were left. Then slid the axle underneath. Well, not me, it's just still me doing this whole thing. Slid that under there. Looks like everything's all lined up for our coils and stuff. I might use some ratchet straps to lift the axle up to get it to simulate a compression, like when it weights on it and all that stuff. And then I can measure for my arms. This is what my arms look like here. These are my old brackets from my other truck. And then my 4-link bars with greasable heim joints on each side. So I'm going to crack these ones loose and get them as tight as possible or short as possible so it doesn't throw my measurement off where I put those on, because when I drill them, I'm kind of just stuck because I can't just slide it over and try to re-drill again. I'll be way off with this whole stuff working, and it'll be causing the truck to track and all kinds of stuff. But let me get after that. I'm going to go ahead and crack these loose, shorten them up, and then I'll take my measurements and stuff. I won't really show it on camera, but it's pretty straightforward. Alright, so we get it all suspended up, ratchet strap like I said, across, and then this one to tilt the axle this way or that way. So we're pretty leveled from here to up there. So We seem to have a good angle from here, like I said, and it's compressed about the same hub height as what the rear is, kind of. Pretty close. But at this height, we're pretty okay. I'll give it a little bit of adjustment room on the arms when I go to drill and stuff, that they have a little bit of more movement to be able to go back if it needs to be when it's fully together. But other than that, on to the next step, measuring the arms and drilling the frame. All right, so we got the 4-link all bolted up and everything. I know I missed a step with showing you guys how it's clamped up, but you'll end up putting bolts in the front arms. And like I said, if you have everything strapped, everything center point from here to up there, needs to be centered and angled with how that flow of that top hat goes for the spring. Then you come under here, bolt those up, lay them down. You bolt this side of whatever bracket you normally have, or the way that I had to do it, because I had to do it custom, because this was technically for a 8-inch lift truck, and we're doing it on a truck that we're pretty much leveling out. You can see that this is pretty leveled. I have the ability, I have set it up to where if I want to go lower, I can stuff it more and adjust these, or if I want to go taller, I can adjust them. So we got a lot of wiggle room here. But I have some big clamps that I used when I was setting it up. So you can use these kind of clamps on the frame and then pinching it and stuff. This big boy here, pinch them and hold them in place. So that's what you would use if you guys end up doing 4-link swap, and how to hold it so you can drill these holes. So I adjusted mine to where I have clearance here from the cab mount bracket. So all I did for mine, on perfect measurement, take the trans mount bolt here and measure from the back of the bracket, and I had 4.5 inches on both sides. So I clamped them both with the arms in, made sure it's fully flat against the frame here on the top, on the going in this way and then downwards upwise. Clamp it. I have a center punch, and I center punched in each hole so it's all 100% dead centered. And I use a small drill bit, drill through those, and then I have the big 1/2-inch drill bit that follows right behind it, and cut through them all pretty quick. So that's this side. Same thing with the other side's all done. I lied, not all done. I didn't get that one up yet. But that's because I had to drill 2 more bolts in the bottom of this one here on this side. So these are going to come down. So I can drill 2 bolts in there. These go back up. And then I'll tighten everything when I actually have the springs on and weighted down. So I'll take them off of these jacks over here. I'll lift it up with the axle and stuff to where it actually lifts off. Then that's where I tighten everything, because that would be resting height wise. You don't want to tighten these up wherever you think that they are, because they could tear bushing or pre-wear them with even if they're good and stuff. So that's those. Special ordered track bar mount for this truck. So this is pretty nice. This came in. So I have to drill some more stuff on the frame. Those, I'm gonna go outside right now. Paint this one. I'm not even gonna powder coat it. Like I said, it's a budget built truck. This is a bracket that holds a nut on the inside of the frame like this. Got a new pitman arm, because they say you're supposed to use pretty much a stock pitman arm with this type of track bar setup. They have a bigger drop one that will allow you to utilize a bigger drop arm. So that's pretty nice. So got all that done. We'll go outside, paint those 3 items, I guess. And then start jamming on the frame again. We'll start drilling for those. Getting the other 2 bolts on the bracket for the control arm on the other side. Alright, so we got these all painted up. They're all drying up for their second coat on both sides. So we'll go inside now, check out the rest of the stuff. So we fully relaxed it now. You can see how much it can droop, and it's still going, obviously, because it's not fully bolted up on those bushings, and the heim joints are just fully rotating, so everything is going pretty smooth. Got the bolts up on the other side. About to take the pitman arm off and grind off some stuff on this side, and we'll put some holes, mock it up for the track bar bracket, drill that up, get the pitman arm, and before we fully get the track bar, and we should be putting this all back together. Beyond its own weight. Let's get after it. Alright, so we pulled the pitman arm off. It's a 33mm or a 1 5/16, I believe is the standard size. Popped it off. Wherever it went, there's somewhere around here. Got the new one on. It goes on a certain way. The wider side of the pitman arm for the track bar, or for the steering drag link here, is supposed to face down, smaller side up. So mostly the curvature down, I guess, too, on this. Other than that, all good. And then when you put these track bar brackets on, there's a little nipple that sticks out on this side for an f150, and then there's a rivet, like this rivet over here, right here. It's pretty easy because you have to look for this big gaping hole, and then straight underneath, that's the one you got to take out for a rivet. You can air hammer it off or just grind it, whatever which way you have for your tools. Got that one. Then you drill it should have a hole. You'll just punch the rivet back through, punch that rivet back through too with the hammer and a chisel. Then you drill these to a 1/2 inch, both of those there, and those are good to go. Clean the frame where this is supposed to mock up right here, and we're ready to go. On to the next step. I'll continue the video after I install that. Alright, we got the track bar sorta kind of bolted up. We just have one in here. This is where I cut. You get a bigger opening, 3/4 inch bolt on the top, bottom. Got it kind of snug as possible. Clamp this side so it goes into place. Everything's lined up. Other bolt hole is pretty leveled for a bolt to go straight through. So I did my center punch. You can see, try and show you guys what I've been kind of doing. You see a little tiny punch somewhere in there. There it is. Punch, punch. I'm going to take a small drill bit, go straight through, and then I'll drill from the other side this way because there's not that much room in here. Obviously, because I didn't get that freaking bracket out. I think it's a pain in the butt. But, save that for a later day. Get that one out. I'm going to drill it, and we'll continue on to our next step. Alright, we got this all bolted up. 2 bolts on this side. All tightened up with an impact. See on this side, the one doesn't have a washer because it's too close to the railing there. Got this one super tight. This bolt I didn't put in. The reason why is they give you a welded nut with a long rod that literally goes to the end of this, where the bumper is, and you're supposed to stick it all the way inside and then drill it through or impact it through. That we'll save for another day because I don't have anybody to help me get the bumper off. But we'll get this one now. Since we got all that done, we'll get the springs in place now. Start raising this up, and then find a bolt for the track bar. Got that. And then we already have a nut for the steering linkage, and get her up in there. We're really close to finishing up here, and it'll be the end of the video. The shocks I'll do on another video for the front and rear. I gotta measure them and make them get the correct size for travel, up and down travel wise. So that's gonna be a little bit of a pain, but it's gonna be a fun time. Fun time, guys. Alright. Alrighty, guys. We're all done with this thing. I had cut the coil about 2 inches on each side. Thought it was gonna be good, but I guess not. It kind of gets really close up in here with the axle touching the track bar mount, so I had to adjust the arms back farther, about a 1/2 inch, and then I just trimmed the bracket that it has here, but farther in wise. Cleaned that up, grinded it, but we're still too close from the pumpkin hitting there. I'm gonna add a 1 inch lift puck here later on, get it up and away from that, because when I bounce this thing, it does hit. I'll get new shocks. Brake line's already on from the old setup, so I just rolled it downwards because they're too long. So rolled it downwards, up and out of the way. Real nice and clean. Track bar setup is all done. Look at all that steering. Beautiful angles right now. Everything's all torqued and ready to rock. The only thing I need to do left is this bolt here, but I'll have to save that for another video, or just do it by myself later on. Just gotta get that. I'll try to get some steering stabilizers in here. Matter of fact, I may not need steering stabilizers because of the angle. It may just hit on everything in here. So we'll see what I can come up with that. At least wise on that steering stabilizer. Other than that, all done. Everything's all tightened up on the mount brackets up here. Everything's all tight. Jam nuts are all tight. Arm nuts up there and bolts are tight. Well, we're pretty close to the frame, but we still have a lot of movement wise for up travel, but the up travel is going to be blocked by the pumpkin. Be all right. Got the diff in there. Got a lot of room in there. I'll be doing a ZF 5-speed swap 4x4 with the Cummins, so it'll be all good. This thing's gonna be freaking fast. And then I'm trying to track down an axle for the rear, get that under there, hopefully matching gears, because I do not want to re-swap that for another axle with gears. And then I'll put my forces on, because I have 20-inch forces, so I'll take those off. 8 lug forces with those tires there, and I have some other tires ready to rock. Also got like about 3 sets of these 20-inch tires. They're all the same size, so that's good. It's a plus. Other than that, that's it today, guys. Thanks for watching.